Hi there, Dan Minigun here, presenting a new video series which I have yet to name. This series will address features that could, and in some cases, should be part of Battlefield 1. So let's get started. Today's video we'll be taking a step back in time and taking a look at a small detail which has curiously been left out since Bad Company 2. And just for the record, I will not be waxing nostalgic about BF2 or anything like that. In fact, to be completely honest, I never really enjoyed playing the Refractor titles for a variety of reasons. Now that I have set myself to be burnt alive, let's get started with the video. Let's take a look at the spawn menu. There is something missing from the class selection which previous Battlefield games included. That's right, there really should be the number of people playing that class when you go to select said class. Let's take just a simple example. If there are 10 players playing Scout on a 24-player rush game, there's pretty much no PTFOing going on. And, well, we've all been there, we've all played Sinai Rush, and we have 10 snipers on our team. It pretty much turns into Sniper Elite. As such, if we have this information, it would encourage people to switch classes. Now I can already hear the counter-argument to this. People would probably not even care, especially if they're using the Scout class, as many people have pointed out that the Scout class players who snipe all day are pretty much playing a different game to those who are playing the objective. Another counter-argument is that we already have this information in the form of the scoreboard. As you can see, the scoreboard tells us which classes are being played. Unfortunately, at least in my opinion, and I think so objectively as well, it is not the most intuitive system, as players who are in the spawn menu show up as dead, and as such do not have their class icon displayed. To be even more complicated, one has to manually check how many players there are by counting the classes. There is no form of total classes being played anywhere on the scoreboard. In larger game modes this can be quite annoying, as I am sure that most people, including myself, would not want to stare at a 32-player list during a hectic game of Conquest or Operations, or perhaps more specifically Grand Operations, which I would never play because I consider it to be a clusterfuck. So we've talked about this minor improvement as well as the counter-arguments against it. Because of these counter-arguments, I think that the system should be complemented by an additional mechanic. At first I thought of two separate mechanics, which were basically a class limit and another one which focused on reward-based systems. But then I quickly scrapped this idea, because I believe that a combination of both is much more useful. If you've ever played BF3, BF4 or Bad Company 2, you would know that many servers have custom third-party applications, such as Procon, which can set up custom rules. One of the most common rules is a sniper limit. Speaking from personal experience, I have never played on a server which has not had at least a 3 or 4 sniper limit. Coincidentally, these tend to be my favorite servers and some of the more popular ones. As of the time of this recording, Battlefield 1 has no support for these third-party apps. Fortunately though, DICE have made it clear that they want to provide as many features as possible to server admins. These include the right to kick and ban, and hopefully even to limit classes. Currently, the only thing you can do regarding classes is to omit them entirely. There is no support whatsoever for limiting a particular class rather than removing it entirely. So my idea would be, much like BF 1942, there would be a default option in which certain classes are limited, especially the Scout class. The default options on BF 1942 allowed for a limit on all classes. This is where the secondary system comes in. I do not believe that limiting Assault, Medic or Support has any impact on the game. This is because the Scout has very good sniping options, and limiting it will undoubtedly increase the players actually going for the objectives, be it telegraphs or, flags, conquest, operations, or what have you. Rather than limiting all the other classes other than Scout, because of the reasons I just mentioned, the game could incentivize selecting other classes. Let's take an example with a new player. The Christmas holidays have just passed by, and we have still plenty of so-called Christmas noobs. If a game has 5 assaults, 5 support, 7 scouts and 2 medics, the game may choose to highlight the medic class in the spawn menu. If a player chooses to select the class, a bonus point would be awarded. The exact number of points is a question of balance really, but I think somewhere around 200 and 250 would be an ideal amount. The flashing icon on the spawn menu should be attractive, especially to new players. Ideally, somewhere in the spawn menu a message should show up saying that medics are required. So let's sum up. Basically, this system would be 3 parts. Firstly, the addition of a class counter to the spawn menu. This will give an idea to what classes the team is made up of, even before spawning in. Secondly, limiting certain classes, especially the scout class. And finally, incentivizing the choice of classes which are not currently being used as much as they should be. I believe that the combination of these 3 things will enhance the team playing aspect of Battlefield 1, which I must say is actually much higher than you would see in Battlefield 4. Probably this is because of the very well done class balance, as many classes depend on each other. In Battlefield 4 in comparison, and especially in Battlefield 3, we do not have those Rambo assault rifle kill everything do everything medics. And to conclude with a typical YouTube conclusion, I hope you guys enjoyed this and more importantly found it interesting. Please leave a comment saying if you agree or disagree with these statements. This is just my opinion based on some facts that I have observed. My name's been Damon again, and you've been watching Mushroom Cloud Gaming.